And looks like we're live, folks. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another D-Spot here for the post-match reactions, a quick reaction of the first leg of the semi-final between Football Club Barcelona and Inter de Milan. Guess who is back? Yes, indeed. It is my true pleasure to be streaming to you guys live on the multi-platform once again to give you, I had to give you my feedback. I couldn't just leave it at the spaces, but I needed to come on the trusty old D-Spot channel to give you guys some of my quick reactions. I was going to say 24 hours have passed, not exactly. We are recording this at 5 minutes to 5 p.m. Central European time. And I just needed to I've now had time to digest everything that took place in the Lluís Stadium. What a game. What an absolute banger of a match. My goodness, do we have things to discuss and very little time to do so. If you're interested, and you want to hear my reactions straight after the whistle, make sure that you head on over to my Twitters. The handle is at Diego Lorin, that is spelled Lorijn. So check me out there if you're not following me on the old Twitters, formerly known as X, because we had a fantastic spaces that, it lasted nearly 2 hours. And it was just great. Nima, Con, the guys, everybody was there, and we got into the thick of things. It was one for the ages. It was a spaces for the ages. So Ankur, thank you very much. Cheers from Canada. Drop your comments in the comment section. Like I said, this one has to be brief. Happy 1st of May, Día de los Trabajadores. Happy Labor Day, right? Labor Day. Labor Day, I think it's called in English. And so the kids are home. It's the pre-birthday celebration of my little girl turning 6 today. We got friends coming over. We got barbecue happening. So this has to be kind of snappy and to the point. But like I said, I just couldn't let today pass without giving you some of the, my impressions, my emotions, my thoughts of what happened in the first leg of the semifinal. It was one for the ages, like I said, a historic semifinal that I always knew was going to live up to the occasion. Obviously, I never put my money on a 3-3. Didn't expect that to happen. But I did think it was going to be a tight affair. I never trusted 8. For all of you that watched my pre-game analysis with my dear friend Nima, I said it there, didn't I? I was like, I don't trust Inter one bit. They're going to turn it up in the Champions League, and it will be a tightly contested affair. I thought it'd be more cagey. I didn't expect this back and forth. It's like two fighters exchanging blows, just non-stop, quite frankly, from the get-go. Dumfries, I was going to say my paisan, obviously. I'm half Dutch. Dumfries is Dutch. It's good to see that finally Dumfries decided to turn it up and play the best game of his career. It's just a shame that he did it for Inter, not for Holland. He's been solid for Oranje. I'm not going to take anything away, but my goodness, never seen him. I was in the oohs and the eyes, like you just hear it in the background when he put in that little back heel taconazo to get the game going right off the bat. I had literally just walked through the door, quite literally, when I walked into the house. I saw the look of horror upon my son's and wife's face and daughter as well. They couldn't believe what just happened. I was like, whoa, what just happened? We just got started. What's going on? And why aren't you guys excited? I look at the screen and it's 1-0 already for Inter. So I actually missed that goal because I just came back from work. And from there, what can I say? Just for the neutral in particular, for the footballing neutral, this must have been just a lovely game of football, a very entertaining game of football. For all of those that are either affiliated to the Blaugrana colors or the blue and the black, It was a nail biter, an absolute nail biter, but one that we thoroughly enjoyed. Obviously, the 2-0 was a massive setback. It was one of those moments where I was like telling my son, look him in the face and said, don't worry. It's early. It is still early. I think what was the got some notes here in the at the hour mark, was it that he scored? Was it the hour mark? I don't know if I jotted that down correct. No, in the 21st minute of the first half, the 2-0 came. And a couple of minutes later, here comes Lamine Yamal. My goodness. I mean, the story, the headlines, the portadas, the front pages were rightly reserved for the best footballer in the world right now, hands down. With permission, with Pedri's permission, with Rafinha's permission, with the permission of other great football players, Mo Salah, Mbappe, Lamine Yamal is the hot ticket in town, folks. And that's not saying that's not a hot take or anything. That's not saying something wildly original. Not at this point in the season. But the fact that he keeps doing it, game after game, and mind you, big game after big game after big game. This kid is quite frankly, made for the spotlight, and he doesn't shy away from it, does he? Like when he said that he left his fear in the parks of Mataró. He said something like, dejé el miedo en los parques de Mataró, right? Mataró, the beach town that he's from, just north from Barcelona. He really, truly approaches the game in that way, right? And some people don't like that confidence. Some people that like to wear white shirts in their free time, maybe, and support a certain club that dress in white. I love it. And I'll tell you why. Because, and I said this yesterday on the Spaces as well, I wish that kind of confidence for my children, for myself for that matter, at the age of 17. Had I had that kind of confidence, if my kids have that kind of confidence, obviously you gotta, when you walk the walk, you gotta talk. No, excuse me, when you talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk. You gotta back it up. And in the case of Lamine Yamal, he is doing that. Hence him saying in the press conference afterwards, like, listen, until we start losing, they in the nation's capital, they got to keep their mouths shut and can't say nothing. And that is a truth, a bona fide truth, factual. What are they going to say? He keeps backing this up. And it's this confidence that just oozes out from him that is not rarely seen. It's never before seen. I didn't see it. I've been following Barça religiously since the early 90s. I would say early 90s. Late 80s is a bit of a stretch, even though I became a Barça fan in 89, my first shirt. Anyway, I'm not going to give you my personal story at this point. The fact is, I've been watching every single Barça game for over 30 years. And even when Messi exploded onto the scene in, let's choose the Gamper against Juventus, which was a ridiculous game, ridiculous in the sense that Messi just was doing things against grown-ups, against seasoned vets, defenders in the likes of Juventus, that even Fabio Capello at halftime was like knocking on Frank Rijkaard's door going, hey, buddy, are you going to use that player for this season, or can we get him on loan? Messi was unbelievable. But there was obviously Messi's much more of an introvert. And at that time, even more so as a young teenager. But the stats show it. At 17, and you'll forgive me if I'm not fully on point with the accurate statistics here, but I think at 17 he played something like 9 games. Or it's less than 10. Sample size is less than 10. Lamine Yamal is 10x'd what Messi did at this stage of his career already. And that's just not only talking about games, which it is 10x. It was his 100th game yesterday. He's won a Euro Cup, a Super Cup, has made headlines, has had performances that we have never seen from a 17-year-old. You know, yesterday on the Spaces, again, I'm going to be referring to it quite a bit. We talked about how this performance from Lamine Yamal, forget it being his best, which it was. It's one of the best individual performances that I have seen of any player, hands down. It's top 3. Is there recency bias? Probably. Call it a top 5. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. This kid, he is touched by the magic wand. Ping! He's got, you know, as Mika likes to say, which, what a great show they have managed to create over there on CBS. Golazo, the Champions League show, right? With Kate, with Henri, with all the guys. And Mika said, it's not the first time he asks it, but his question is he the chosen one? If you have not just retired football players, fantastic retired football players, Henri, Lineker, Valdano, you name it, praising you, throwing flowers at you, pedals everywhere you walk. It's just nothing but awe, sheer awe and amazement that this kid manages to again, not just from fans, not just from journalists, not just from football philosophers, from ex-players that know the game inside out, ex-football players, current football players. Haaland posting on his TikTok or whatever, I think it was Snapchat, saying this kid is unbelievable. He draws the amazement of rival opponents and of teammates alike. And it is so well placed. And all I'm trying to say is, if you have that happening, then it's just something special, isn't it? It's something to be taken very serious. And I'm so happy to be alive once again, to be witnessing this, to be seeing this with my very own eyes. I didn't think I was going to see anything like Messi again in my lifetime. But luckily for me, and more importantly for my kiddos who have Messi as this idol, even though they've never seen him play. Well, never seen him in his peak with Barça. It's like, don't worry, kids. Lamine Yamal is going to make all your dreams come true. And he, quite frankly and truly, is. I know that there are culés that are disappointed with this draw. And Ankur, thanks again for your message. I'm going to get to your question in just a second. I almost have to be wrapping this up. By the way, that being said, churros tomorrow for patrons. That's patreon.com/churros y tácticas. Make sure that you join us on that, because we'll be getting into, of course, this first leg of the semifinal with my man Kian Sobans. And we'll have a lot more time to delve into the details and get the not so jealous side of a Kian Sobani, who's not jealous at all. He's really not. But check out the spaces as well. Go on my Twitter. My handle again is my first name, last name, Diego Lorraine. And check it out, because you'll be getting, it was just a really fun spaces to do. But I know there's a lot of culés that are a little bit worried. The fact that we conceded 3. I think in the entirety of the game, Inter had, trying to pull up my notes, 3 shots in total on target. Very efficient, obviously. You got to give credit where it is due, even if Simone Inzaghi opts for a, classic, I was going to say small club approach to the game. I won't say that just because, I have too many also family members and friends, Nima to start, that appreciate Inter too much to I think, simplify it I hope the audio is all right, by the way. Just getting a pop-up message about the audio. But yeah, so I'm not going to simplify to saying, look, it's a small club. It's just sitting back and then waiting to counter, waiting to pounce on any mistake and a counter-attack to hit Barça. But that is kind of what Inter is and has been, in my opinion. I don't see much difference between Mourinho's Inter and Inzaghi's Inter. But then, again, my sample size is very small in that regard. I don't follow the Serie A. I only see them in the Champions League, really. And obviously, I have a keen eye on them every time we face them, which we have quite the illustrious history between the two. But give credit where it is due. It worked out for Inter. They take a great result home with them. Barça conceding 3 is not great, but you look at the stats, and I've got some of them here. 9 shots on goal. Somers had to make a total of 7 saves. I mean, Rafinha and company hitting the woodwork. If Lamine Yamal hits that shot, which, by the way, he confirmed it was a shot, not a cross, that chip, mind you, both times. That first one already, right after he scored the equalizer, he comes back at Sommer. Great save by the Swiss goalkeeper. But that second one in the second half, that chip, that if that would have gone in, I mean, Montjuic would have erupted. That mountain would have become a volcano, and it would have erupted, and the Magic Mountain would now be referred to as a magic volcano because, oh my God. I know we don't want to get into the Messi comparisons and nothing of the sort, but this kid, I take with me all of those things. I take with me that this is a team that I love to see. The hottest ticket in town, man. The best football playing team in the world right now is Fútbol Club Barcelona. I hope we get to the final. I trust that we have the players to do so, that we have the team to do so, that we have the mentality to do so. The coaching staff, clearly Flick and company. Yes, the high line continues to be a risky play. Yes, Inter could have had the 4-3 were it not for the el punto del dedo, like the tip of the toe. That had, I think it was Thuram in an offside position. Both teams are banged up. Both teams are exhausted. We're without Lewandowski, Alejandro Balde, and now Koundé as well. Massive miss. They'll be without Lautaro Martinez and Pavard. I think he will still be out. So it's going to be a very interesting clash at the Giuseppe Meazza at the San Siro next week. I can't wait for it. Guys, give me a like. Click on that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/DSpot because I'm going to have more conversations with Nima, obviously with Kian and Adrian from Rabona TV as well. He's going to come on. We're going to keep this party going. We're going to keep it going and flowing. You don't want to miss any of it. So subscribe, hit the bell notification. We will see you tomorrow for the churros. And starting Monday, I will come back with my dear friend Nima to get the feedback of an Inter supporter and a journalist. And have a great weekend. Enjoy May 1st. If for those of you that have the day off. Oh, Ankur, let me get to your question real quick. What you make of Balde's arrival on the second leg? I don't think he will be available. And by the way, thank God Lamine was, because in the warm-up, while I was racing from work home, on the radio, I'm listening to the warm-up, and the journalist covered the warm-up session. Hitoshi, what's up, my man? Good to see you. What's up, Hitoshi? Universal Music in the house. Man, we're going back now. We're going back a few decades. What's up, my man? Thank you for joining. Yeah, I was very worried that Lamine Yamal was not going to be making it for this clash. And even when I saw him, when he was announced that he continued on the squad list in the team sheet and in the starting 11, I was like, I hope he's not forcing it, because we're going to need him for the league as well. We're going to need him, fingers crossed, for potential Champions League final at the end of this month. So can you imagine, like, the guy had a little muscle cramp or a little nagging soft, can't really call it an injury, but como se dice, una molestia, you say in Spanish. But he came out and played the angels from the heavens came down and watched him, played the stars from the sky. So literal heart attack, absolutely. So yeah, I don't think that Balde will be there. I don't know. From what I know, he's ruled out, but that might change. It also enables Rafa more instead of Rafa, you mean? Rafa played a great game yesterday, man. That shot that hit the crossbar, then luckily, obviously, deflected off of somewhere in, but then afterwards, he had another one of them. I love this team. Hitoshi saying, I'm provisionally looking forward to Barça Arsenal, keeping my fingers crossed. I'd rather play Arsenal than PSG. Much rather. My hatred for PSG has subsided, that I had for Chelsea, especially now that I got to know Con and Liam and the guys. But QSG with Lucho and a Dembele, I'd rather avoid them in the final. But I think it will be QSG that'll make it to the final. So I'm getting ready. But first, we still have to beat Inter at the Giuseppe Meazza. So that's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be done still. A lot of football left to play. Guys, I'm going to leave it here. Enjoy the weekend. Join us tomorrow on Churros. Patreon.com/Churros y Tácticas with the double R. And we will see you on Monday on D-Spot with Nima. Peace out. Enjoy the long weekend. Bye-bye, folks. Y visca el Barça.